Boom. All right. What's pippity poppin'? We got Amir, first time, long time listener, first time caller. Um, just kidding. Amir's the other guy in this channel now. And we went ahead. We ranked
Sure.
we ranked our One Piece arcs. Um, we're gonna go through. You have Enies lobby at B? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Bro, I was gonna say, well, bro, that's what I'm saying. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
All right. All right. First of all, let's see. Let's see. All right. We both have Marine Ford at the top
Yep.
for a reason, dog. Marine Ford, that battle at Marine Ford was crazy.
Bro, that like, yeah, the I think like, honestly, it's like the story of Marineford, like all
Yeah.
the just kind of getting a little bit of like you got a little bit of Ace's backstory. You got to actually see Whitebeard. You got to see like
I
that's the
mean,
first time
Ace's
seeing
death was
Emperor in
enough.
action.
Ace's death was enough to just like cap that whole battle off. And like they just escaped Impel Down and they were like, we're gonna go get him. Yeah, that was yeah. I mean that was and then what's his name? He was the I don't know. He was the guy in charge of the Navy. He had like the gold Buddha form.
Oh, Sengoku.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. And then just Whitebeard. I mean, just all that, just all the pirates just showing. That was just
Yeah, and also the well, what you also had the vice at or was it the admirals? Yeah, the admirals too. So you
yep,
had
yep,
Akainu,
yep.
Aokiji, and
Oh my gosh,
Kizaru. So,
God.
because really, what we saw, because we saw Aokiji at the end of Eni's lobby, and like he kind of just showed up,
Yeah,
and well, you also saw him for like in the Robin's backstory because him like freezing Saul, and then Kizaru, we saw him at Salbodi, so you kind of saw glimpses of them, and then I kind of it was like the first time seeing him, and I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
don't not really. I mean,
I
he's
mean, just seeing the
he's a
just
great
seeing the
character.
Navy's power
Well, yeah,
was
because
insane.
really they're kind of like for the most part they've kind of just been like a footnote
Hmm.
to like as villains.
Yeah, like they were always just talked about, but never like you know,
Yeah, I mean,
we never
you saw
hinted.
like yeah in the beginning. I mean, you had like it was like okay, you had Smoker
Yeah,
and and those guys were kind of like on par with Luffy and them,
yeah,
but then you didn't really see them much after that. And then really, then your villains kind of became like it was either other pirates or
yeah,
you had CP9 who were like, oh yeah, we work directly for the government, or
yeah,
you had like warlords of the sea, different things like that.
yeah. Which speaking of CP9, that's why I have in his lobby right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, yeah. When we start going down the list, I guess I'll be able to I'll explain.
See, but I have in his lobby at the top. Now, part of that is bias because like when like I was saying the other day, like that was my first ever introduction into One Piece. Was just
Yeah,
I just have that image of them fighting at Enies lobby and Robin. And it's just like that was my first. So like I've got like I guess I don't know a nostalgic and emotional connection to it. So that's
yeah. No,
partly why it's
that
here.
definitely makes sense.
And then I mean and the AK now you read all the you're reading the manga right now. So
Yep.
you're farther in because like you see I've got the three at the bottom because I'm not there yet. But
Yeah.
that's why I've got Egghead at the top too because we were talking about. I mean, you start to see the power of Garp and Shanks and just and even Blackbeard and then the government and all that stuff. You're like, holy crap! Like
Yeah.
to finally see that power, you're like,
Well,
it
yeah, especially because you get the what was it? What are they called? The whatever the elders or whatever. It's like
yeah,
this because it's
yeah.
like you always saw them
The
and they'd
celestial
be
dragons.
talking. Yeah, the celestial dragons, and it's like
Yeah,
you saw them and they'd be talking, but and obviously you were all like, oh well, these guys are in charge. They have like they make a lot of the big moves, but you just assume like, oh, hey, they're just, top government people. They're not actually strong or they're backed by someone strong. But then they come when they show up on Egghead, it's like, oh, nah, these guys actually have an insane amount of power.
oh yeah, oh
So
yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, okay, hey, now we're actually seeing something from them.
Now the
So,
one thing that gets me is like their power. I almost feel like they're not real. Those people aren't real. Like they're just created by. I, you're
well,
farther along. Who's
uh,
the woman, the character, the creature at the top?
oh, emu. So here, caveat, a little spoiler alert. So, um, so I guess it would be like at the end, like I guess towards the end of Egghead, or like basically, yeah, them leaving Egghead after they get away. When the elders they get called back, Emu actually like is like, oh, hey, you guys failed, blah blah blah, and like Emu takes the power away from the elders and like basically
Okay.
shrivels them up. So
See,
at least from
that doesn't even surprise me because right now I could
yeah,
have guessed that like right off the rip. I could have guessed that.
yeah. So that's basically what's like. So it's like at least from my perspective, it's oh, Emu gave like passed the power on to them,
Yeah.
and that's what makes them strong because it
I
seems
mean
like Emu was kind of more in the background and letting
um
them handle all this stuff.
it's kind of like Big Mom.
Yeah, yeah, kind of with the
She would
soul stuff.
pull, she'd pull that out and give it well, she'd give it an inanimate object, but at the same time, I mean, she could give her power to do other things. Now, I will say, I'm looking at so Impel Down. I guess we'll hit that one next. That's just a great. I mean, that's just great. That's just great battles, great characters introduced.
Oh yeah, not for sure. Honestly, so the reason I had it at S rank was because for me, like this is so after the Straw Hats get split up, like obviously he has Amazon Lily, which was it's pretty good. But for me, Impel Down was like I guess Luffy's like first like main arc
Yeah,
of being by himself. Like, because if you think about it, since the beginning, it's always like the whole thing is about the crew. Like at the end of the day, it's always like, yeah, Luffy goes, he gets Zoro. Oh, Nami's like kind of half part of the crew. They get Sanji. They get Usopp. They get Sanji. Uh, and then they have Arlong Park where it's like, oh, okay, hey, yeah, Nami's officially part of the
yeah,
crew. Then
yeah.
it's Alabasta. You get. Then at the
Well,
end of
that's
that, you
and
get
looking at our
what's her
list.
name?
So, like the top incredible and incredible, they're all kind of in the same area, which is same with you. I mean, they're like it's a small difference in between those tiers. Because I mean, I see
Yeah,
because you've got yeah, because you've got Barati right kind of where I have it. Um, and same with the Dressrosa and all those. They're just right there. So it's I mean, yeah, no, you're right. Because I mean, we've got Arlong Park. Listen, and Nami's backstory. It's the first real kind of. I almost feel like that's the first real like arc. It's the first real super villain. I guess if that
yeah,
makes.
yeah. That's like, well, that's like that's their first main supervillain that they
Yeah,
fight together as a
and
crew.
it was tough.
Yeah, and then like, and it makes sense because at that time that was like, the big villain because what Arlong was like the strongest in the East Blue,
Yeah,
so that was a big stepping stone for them, and obviously, and I think the thing I like about One Piece is they like obviously it was like oh Arlong hated humans, blah, and all that stuff, but it was like you didn't really know too much why. And then once you get into what was it? I believe it was when they go to Fishman Island,
yeah, and
you
the
get an
Sun Pirates and
understanding
all
of
that.
more
Yeah,
why because they have the whole Fisher Tiger thing.
yeah,
Jinbei explains, and it's like, oh hey, now that kind of makes sense why Arlong was the way he was.
yeah,
And like even
yeah,
though it was like, oh yeah, I hate him at the time when you're first watching One Piece and you see that arc, you're like, this dude's terrible. I can't stand him. He's like a terrible villain. Like in the sense of like, oh, not like he's a bad villain, but just like, oh yeah, I don't like him.
yeah. Yeah, and then all right, and I mean Barati, not really much to explain there with that one. They introduced Sanji. It's a good little
Yeah,
Sanji story, pretty much.
yeah.
That's
Introduce
how I
Sanji,
look at it.
you get Mihawk and
Yeah,
everything. So
yep,
that was good. And then obviously getting Sanji in the crew at that point.
yeah. Yeah. Now you've got Thriller Bark at sea. I've got that. I like Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark was. I mean that was good.
Ah, see,
Now
yeah,
again. I mean that one almost could have been in. Oh, I just realized it says incredible but worth it. I meant to say long but worth it. Oh, dude, this whole video is going stupid. Oh my god. But
no, you're good.
yeah, no, because I mean at the end of the day, it I do kind of feel like Thriller Bark. It seemed long, but I don't. I like Thriller Bark. It introduced some cool characters. Peroni, Waifu, she's up there. Um,
This man.
she got that little weird thing going on. And then what's his name? God, what's his name?
Who Gecko Moria, the
Yes.
warlord?
Oh my, yeah, Gecko. Yeah. I mean, he was just what a just creature. What a
Yeah, I
dude.
mean, yeah, no, that was the thing. It was like it was actually funny because it's like because you think about it, what at that point, what that was what Luffy's well, yeah, it was Luffy's second fight with a warlord that he beat because he had beaten Crocodile at that point
Mm,
already, and then he beat Gecko Moria. They had met up with Mihawk, and Zoro lost to him,
yep.
but that was just like barely even a fight. Like there's a big skill difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's why I can't. No, listen. I want to see him fight again, but that's just it'll happen. Um, yeah. I don't know. Thriller Bark. Oh, because they also meet.
Oh yeah, that's well, yeah, you get Brooks in there too. So I
Yeah.
mean, I guess for me, I think it was. I mean, I didn't not like Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark is it's definitely not Skypiea because
No, no.
Me
Buddy,
and me
Skype
and you
is at the
had this
bottom of the
conversation. I hate Skypiea, but
totem.
can't stand it. But it was definitely good because like yes, obviously like you're meeting another warlord of the sea. His powers are good. You get Brooks introduced. Zoro has his fight with I forgot the whatever the reincarnated swordsman who has Brooks'
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah. Because it turns out he's from Wano.
Y- Yeah, and then it's like, oh yeah, like Zoro had a good fight with him, but then also then you go back and think and you're like, dang man, if this dude actually had his own shadow and was fighting like the way he fights instead of fighting like Brooks,
Yeah.
how good could this man have been? And like how much tougher of a fight would that have been for Zoro?
Yeah. And then who was it? It was I only remember this. Like I said, they were in some of those cards I opened the other day. Hogback creates the creatures, right?
Yeah, he creates the creatures
Yeah. I'm sitting there
because
I'm just picturing
Gecko.
Lola, the
Oh yeah,
the
the
hog
pig.
lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's where you get obviously and then well if you're not even thinking about it, well because that was like our first like I guess prelude to Big Mom because since
Yeah.
she's Big Mom's daughter
Oh, I
and
completely forgot about that. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, because I remember because she gave Nami something and she was like, oh yeah, like
Yep.
oh give this to my mom if you like see her or something, and then it's like oh, then
Yes.
later on when we get to well I think it's what after I think it's like when we get to whatchamacallit Dressrosa, like right after that, then that's when Big Mom gets introduced, and then
Yeah.
it's like oh hey, yeah you're oh shoot yeah this is Big Mom stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember that now. Which talking about that Dressrosa, man. Again, this category is supposed to say long but worth it. God, that was so long. But like, and this is what we talked about in the card of the day. I mean, Doflamingo's just what a bad man. What a bad man.
Bro, yeah, I mean, that's why I like Dressrosa was good just because you get like, well, obviously you get like Law's backstory, which is good. Him and Rosinante, Doflamingo's backstory is crazy because it's just like,
Yes.
oh yeah, like oh yeah, I was a noble, but my dad decided no, we're not gonna do this. We're gonna be poor. And then he's like, man, my life sucks. He
Yep.
was like, well, I can get back to it if I kill my dad. And
Yeah.
it's like nah, bro, you're just poor and you
Like
killed your
just a
dad.
true evil villain right there.
Yeah, and it is wild because like we always got like what was it? I think yeah, the only time we really saw Doflamingo was when they had that warlords meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's obviously like you see him and it's like, oh, okay, hey, this is an interesting character. Like, what's up with him? And then it's like, oh, you actually get to see his power and what he's doing, and it's like, yo, this
That's the
man's
thing.
actually like,
Well, that's the other thing we mentioned the other day. His mastery of his power.
yes,
I
yes,
mean,
because
the man made a cage around his island.
yeah, I mean,
Like
and
what?
that was good because it was like that was the first time we saw the awakening of a devil fruit. So it's like, hey, this is what you can get to with devil fruits.
Yeah, yeah. And then I mean, I know you were hating on Pika, but I don't know. It was kind of cool. He was weird, but like at the same time, like just I don't know, powerful guy.
I mean, I guess I'm biased because it's like because like oh hey when like if I want like because that's the one thing I like about One Piece is for the most part like obviously yeah Luffy's gonna take on like the main villain whoever's the strongest person but Zoro he's gonna end up with a good fight as well Sanji he'll usually end up with a good fight so that one with Pyko was kind of like yeah this was
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan because I was like oh
No,
if Zoro's fighting another swordsman who he can, or at least
the
someone similar abilities who can he can be on par with, then it makes it good.
the saddest backstory, but the fight I cared for the least was remember Senior Pink, the big baby guy,
Yes.
right? Such a sad backstory, right? But like he's a big baby that like swims. Like what?
Wait, wait, I think we talked about this because I either talked about it with you or someone from work, but I was just pretty sure it might have been someone from work because I was over here like I was like, oh yeah, that dude who was dressed up like a baby. It's like One Piece makes you care about like the most random dudes because it's like
Yeah,
I was like
yeah,
when I the first time I saw him, I was like, this is stupid. I was like, what is this character? And then they do his backstory, and it's like, oh, he has a reason to dress like this. And like now I feel bad.
yeah, yeah. Well, and that brought me to another thing. The whole um Coliseum fight. That was I don't know.
Oh
That was
yeah.
great, dude. Those battles were great. And then Sabo comes in, and that's
Yes.
where he gets the devil fruit.
Yes, him getting Ace's Devil Fruit because especially because was it like that's why I had post war I'm pretty sure I had post war pretty decently ranked. What I have that at? Um, hey, I don't even
You
remember.
had you had
Oh,
you,
I
you
had it
got
at
an A.
A.
Yeah, you've got an A.
Yeah, hey, I had post war at A, and the reason I had it was because it was like, oh, okay, yeah, immediately after the war, we see like Ace's childhood, Ace, Luffy, and Sabo, because it's like, oh, we didn't even know Sabo was a character at all,
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh, you kind of see that brotherhood and that bond from them, and then like, oh, hey, Sabo died, so it's like, oh, this is why Ace was so protective of Luffy because it's like, oh, I already lost one brother, so now I'm not gonna lose another. But then like when you see Sabo come back, you're just like, obviously you're surprised, like you feel the same emotion that Luffy has when he sees him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I said, that was a good one. I like that one. Dressrosa was good. God Usopp coming in, you know. Love me some God Usopp. I just recently I had all the wanted posters. I just like they were on I think they were just on Amazon or something. It was all these different wanted posters. I just gave them to there's one of the guys that teaches with Kate, his son's really into, it. And I was like, I'm not gonna hang these up, so I gave him some. But no, God Usopp was one of the wanted posters. Let's see, what do we got next? Well, we can talk. Is it Wano or Wano? It's Wano, right?
It's Wano.
Okay.
So actually, I'll buy this. I probably should have. I think I should have put it at like A or B. Like going back and thinking about it.
Yeah, but
But
it was
Wano was
long, man. It
good.
was long.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like, yeah, freaking what? I'd say they were like, well, they were in Wano for like like just them doing the manga for like 4 years.
Yes, that's what I would say. I mean, it stretched years just to get through that, just to get through Wano. And I mean, because I mean, and half of it, they were actually on the island, and the other half they were um at the base essentially. And that whole what seemed to be like Kaido's base, that was like the longest fight ever, man. My God,
Yeah,
that fight was so long.
I mean,
And then, oh, because then
I
he was also in prison at one point. How many times did
yeah,
they fight King and like Jack and all them? I swear they were fighting them like every 10 episodes or something. They were fighting them. I'm like, come on now.
yeah. I mean, I guess I guess I kind of, part of me understands it just because it's like, because like their first like big interaction with a warlord of the sea. Because I mean, yeah, they had the Big Mom thing, but it was like, oh, they really weren't trying to fight Big Mom. It was, oh, we're trying to avoid her.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I
because
mean,
well, so you said
or
Ruby,
even
the
assassinate her
emperors.
because Capone was like, oh, we're gonna kill Big Mom.
Oh, I forgot about Capone.
Yeah, and he was like, "We're killing Big Mom and whatnot." And then it's like when she's chasing her, them, it's like, "Nah, we're just trying to get away now." Like
Yeah.
the main thing with that was like, "Oh yeah, well we gotta fight. Like Luffy's gotta fight Katakuri," and
Oh,
that was like your big thing. But with
yeah,
the Wano, it
yeah,
was like, "Oh, we have to liberate Wano," and it's like, "Oh, but we also have to stop Kaido."
yeah, yeah. Well, and because then they were like, well, if we stop Kaido, like the base is gonna fall onto Wano and just like kill everybody. And it's like, yeah, that puts another that puts another problem on the table. And then because even then, I mean, because it's not King, it's not Jack. Who's the
Uh,
who's the who's the orange brontosaurus guy?
is it Queen?
Queen, yes, Queen. I was saying, I know it's a card. Queen card. Just K-pop is whatever. Queen, because then Queen starts shooting that. I don't know the punk hazard formula essentially.
Yeah.
Um, it was knocking those guys down. What else? They brought the giant guys out. Um, all the different I guess hierarchy with the animal was it Animal Kingdom pirates? What are they? What are they?
No, they or what was it? They were the Beast Pirates.
Beast
That's
pirates.
the
Dude, I was
yeah.
right. I was Beast pirates, Animal Kingdom are literally like those are like synonyms.
I was trying to think because you were saying it, and I was like, it's not
Yeah.
animal, but I was like, it has
No,
something to do with
yeah. So the
animals.
Beast Pirates, like they have all that level of hierarchy because then you have page one, you've got all these different, and like there were so many battles going on, which obviously that's gonna drag it out, a long time too. But I
Oh
like to see I like to see Drake. Drake's cool. I like Drake, not the rapper.
yeah,
I like the rapper's song, but like
this
I got a daughter on the way. You know what I'm saying? Back away, Drake.
this
Um,
like, hey Drake,
but
I hear
like
you like them
X
young.
Drake's cool. I don't know. I like to see the three, the new generation come together.
Yeah, I think. Well, so I guess what like because you got this obviously Kid and Law were like teaming up to fight Big Mom,
Yeah.
and that was good. But I was also like, I guess what happened was it was like, oh, Luffy unlocking his Nika form or whatever
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean
for Gear
that's
5.
probably that's got to be one of my favorite parts of the art. I mean, you talk about God Usopp, dude, that's God Luffy right there. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, no, the man's literally a god, but like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess
And
him hitting that tier fucking it basically separated him
he's
from
he's just geeking the whole time. What like the world just turns to a rubber around him. Like, dude, that's so sick.
yeah, this man basically just was like, oh, turn it into Toon World like Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
Yes.
But
Oh my God. Yeah. It did give me Toon World vibes. About to watch Blue Eyes
yeah,
come out back.
I feel like that just like it separated him from them, and then it's like, oh yeah, now he's like emperor status, and
Yeah.
like him and Blackbeard are emperor status, and you guys aren't there.
Yeah. Which Blackbeard's power itself is just like Blackbeard's. He's a problem. He's a problem.
Yeah, this
Um.
his like that's why I'm interested how it's gonna like I guess because obviously like him and Luffy will have to fight, but I'm wondering how that'll work because since his power can basically neutralize
Yeah.
other devil fruits, it's like how does that work when Luffy goes Gear 5? Like, if
Yeah,
he
I
makes
agree.
contact with Luffy, does he automatically take him out of that form,
Or does
is
like his
Black?
power does his power turn the darkness to rubber? You know?
Well, not. And that's why I'm interested because it's like, oh, what's because like always like Blackbeard. That's not even his like awakening. Like you haven't even seen his awakening, and then it's like,
Um,
oh, is he gonna get double awakening because he also has Whitebeard's Quake fruit?
yeah, yeah. The Quake. Oh my gosh, when he took out the Heart Pirates, I was like, holy crap. I mean, he
Yeah.
but no, and I guess the other thing with Wano, the whole smile fruit thing, and the
Yes.
synthetic ones, and all the different like just mangled. We'll say mangled characters. You know, you got the guy who had just like a gorilla just coming out of his stomach, and like half you had like the half horse girl with a nice rack on her.
This dude.
It's just kind of like it was just crazy. And then essentially, they tortured Wano. I mean, they were forced to, you never really saw the inside of the weapons factories, but I mean, that's what they did. It was weapons factory. And then watching that girl watch her dad die, his sacrifice, he became like a matriarch or a martyr, and it was just like that's tough. That's tough to watch. And you find that like he boiled
Oh
Shogun
yeah, boy.
alive.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that was like that was that was definitely because it was definitely like, oh, hey, this dude was part of Whitebeard's crew, and then
Yeah.
he joined Roger's crew, and it's like, oh, you know he's strong.
Oh
You
yeah.
know he's like he's probably like top sword. Like you're talking about top swordsman. Like it's like, hey man, you think about like, oh, would Mihawk be able to beat this dude?
Yeah. I
Because
mean, had it
Mihawk's the
not
strongest swordman.
Had it not been for oh my, hold on. I don't know how I haven't hit this yet. Biggest to me, um, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Biggest, just most shocking moment is the one who can paint things that come alive.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's obviously the biggest shock because
Yeah, when it turns
he
out he's
was
a bad guy, I was like, no freaking way, man.
well, yeah, because what was it? Because yeah, because he was rolling with them
Yes,
for a good minute,
for
and
20,
yeah,
25 years or however long they were.
well, yeah, yeah,
Um,
because yeah, he was obviously like an original part of like those swordsmen who served him, but then it was like, oh, when you we got to what is it called? The Punk Hazard and everything. Like, hey, he's over here, like, he's rolling with the crew and Punk Hazard. He's like, he's kind of becoming like an essential part, and you're just like, oh, I like this character. And then it's like, oh, wait, he's a bad guy.
yep, yep, yep. Yeah, he killed me, man. I was so pissed. Conjuro.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Yep, Conjuro. But then I did like to see because I had to look up the characters here. Denjiro, he worked under who's the bad shogun? What's his name? He's got the hydropower thing.
Oh, yeah. Uh,
Orochi.
yeah.
Yeah, like turns out Denjiro's actually has just been hiding the whole time, essentially. Like he puts his hair up and all. It was just like, oh my god. So I mean I like to see that too. What was the one thing? I mean I liked because like the two Animal Kingdom fellas, the frog, God I don't know if I
Oh, um,
Kawamatsu. Yeah, and like he there's Rizo. I liked Rizo. Oh, Toki. Oh, they're giving me some waifus on here. I mean, it's yeah. Now we didn't talk about whole cake. We talked about Charlotte, but who's the mirror fella?
oh, well, not that well, not because wasn't the mirror stuff that was the sister, one of Big Mom's daughters, the girl looked like a goblin witch thing.
Yeah, but who was he fighting in the mirrors?
Oh,
Guy,
well, I know
he
well,
had the
not he
short
fought
teeth.
Kata Curry. He fought Kata Curry,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, he fought Kata Curry, which that was probably one of the best fights in
Yes,
One
that's what
Piece.
hey, we agree. Yeah, that was probably one of the best fights. That was something else. God, she had so many kids. I looked up the list. I mean, God bless it.
Yeah, I
Chris
think the good part
Cracker,
with
I forgot
that
about
one.
Cracker.
Yeah, so I think she has like an insane number of kids. And it was funny because she was like, because it was, I guess, with the way her backstory went, I guess it made sense because it was like, oh yeah, she has like kids of all these different like races
Yeah,
in One Piece because that's how she grew up. She grew up with all these like kids who were abandoned or whatever, and it
yeah,
was like, oh yeah, you got
she was an
some
orphan. Yeah,
fishmen, you got all these different ones, and then it's like, oh, like they were was it she was well she screwed well as a child she messed up her relationship with the giants that time, and then she tried to marry off one of her daughters to a
yeah,
giant, and then that didn't work.
yeah. Well, I mean, she was trying to she was trying to get with I mean, Sanji's entire family. Because remember,
Yeah,
Sanji was
well,
gonna
she
marry
yeah.
Pudding, which Pudding was kind of hot until you saw the third eye, and you're like, ah, nope.
Well, yeah, well, yeah, well, I guess even the thing was, well, she didn't even really care about marrying them off to Sanji. It was really just she was trying to get that alliance, and then she was going to
Well,
kill them
yeah,
all.
yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah.
So, but nah, I think well, so like whole cake, it was good. It was just
It blew up
uh,
Pedro.
wait, you said what?
It blew up Pedro.
Oh yeah, Pedro died, which that was that was rough. He was a good character.
I mean,
I
that
did like
gave
him.
I mean, that gave them a reason to fight, essentially.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess with 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 whole cake, it kind of. I was talking about this with somebody at work. It kind of felt like Sanji's Sanji's thing was forced. Like he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave the crew to basically to protect you guys from Big Mom," and it's like, yeah, I get because yeah, she's a warlord, but they had basically already challenged the world government with the whole rescuing Robin thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
The burning of the flag, man.
yeah, so it's kind of
Pivotal
like,
scene.
yeah, so it's like kind of at that point, it's like. Yeah, Sanji, you're trying to protect them from Big Mom, but the world government is your enemy. So you kind of like world government and an Emperor of the Sea kind of similar, like kind of on the same level.
Yeah.
And even if you and then if you're like, well, obviously then when now that we're in like Egghead and Elbaf, it's like, oh yeah, I feel like the world government is kind of a higher priority than the Emperor of the Sea at this point.
Yeah. No, you no. Yeah. Yeah. Um, which I mean, that I guess that brings the Zoe arc. I mean, I don't know. They met them. That wasn't that I guess that big of a deal. It's just
Yeah, it
cool.
was. Yeah, I mean, it kind of just really, I guess it alluded to I guess the Gear 5 thing
Yeah.
because it was like, oh, whatever they call it, the heartbeat of the or drums of liberation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Because I mean, yeah, because towards the end, the Elephant Island essentially hears it.
yeah, and that was really all it was. But um, yeah, Zhao was kind of eh,
Yeah, like I said,
like
it was fun. It was just fun.
yeah, like I mean, yeah, obviously, like you got you at like that's where obviously like oh hey Pedro's gonna roll with you, Carrot's gonna roll with you,
Yeah,
so you added in some characters
Carrot
to
man.
like accompany you.
I showed you some of that fan art of Carrot. Whew.
Bro, stop.
Alabama. I liked Alabasta. I mean, I had it just fine. I like Croc. I do like Crocodile. He's a good. He's a good. I don't know. I like Crocodile. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, nah, like Alabasta was good for me just because like I said before, like oh yeah, this is their first like interaction with a warlord, and one of the major ones that's like, oh hey, this is what Vivi, who they added into the crew, made her an honorary member. It's like, oh, this was like their big bad, their
Oh
big
my
villain,
gosh,
and it's
I just remembered a character,
what's up?
Mister Five.
Who's
He's the guy
which
who
one
can
was Mister?
change his appearance, right?
No, it's Mister
Is that Mister Three?
Two, Mister Two or Three.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
But
look
well, I
it up.
think it's Mister Two, Bon Clay, because he can change his appearance.
He Impel Down. He is one of my favorite characters because of Impel Down.
Bro, don't even get me started. I was that like
Yep.
this man going to save Luffy when it's like, oh yeah, Magellan poisoned him, dropped him out in the little snow area, and the wolves are attacking, and he's just getting like this man's getting eaten up and everything.
Hold on. There's Mr.
And
Two.
and then that's the first time we see like Luffy use his Conqueror's Haki to stop the wolves.
Yeah,
And then
it's Mr. Three. It's Mr. Three. He's got wax fruit.
okay, yeah, Mr. Three is Wax, and then Mr. Two is Bon Clay.
Yeah,
But
Mr. Two's the is the like swan dancer guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
no.
yeah, now just even like him just like staying back at the end of or at the end
Yep.
of Impel
Yep.
Down to open
That's
up
the
the
exact thing. I
gates.
was like, man, I was like, oh, that got me.
Yeah, bro. I remember this like because the first time first time I saw that, I read it in the manga because had it on the Shonen Jumps, and I was like, I remember seeing that, and I was over here like, damn, I'm sad because I was like, y'all were enemies before, but it's like, oh, y'all are like, y'all made this bond in Impel Down, and it's like, this man's like,
Yeah.
you're assuming he's gonna die
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, no, that was good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Alabasta is good. I mean, the kingdom kind of. Well, I guess again, you're farther than me. I mean, that Alabasta, I guess, is more. It seems to be more important than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I guess really, like, yeah, Alabasta,
Because I mean,
Vivi's
they
family kind
want
of,
Vivi.
yeah, yeah, because apparently, another maybe spoiler, oh, yeah, no spoiler, Vivi's ancestor, uh, I guess when they originally were making the kingdoms for the Reverie or whatever, Alabasta was like, Vivi's ancestor was like, oh, we're not joining, and then apparently she just went missing. She just disappeared, and
Yeah,
then Alabasta becomes part of it. So
maybe
there's
that's Vivi's
obviously something
mom.
going on that we'll find out later that'll be like have to do with Emu and Vivi's ancestor and probably
Yeah.
Joy Boy.
What if like Vivi and Luffy and them, or well, maybe they're cousins or something.
Uh, I don't even. I don't know. I think probably it's going to be have to be something with like Joy Boy has probably had some type of connection with Vivi's
Yeah.
ancestor or something
All right, let's
where
see.
maybe it was like she believed in like what Joy Boy believed in, and Emo was trying to like get everybody under their thumb.
Yeah, at Punk Hour School, I like Caesar Clown. I mean, I guess in reality, I guess he's pretty pivotal because I mean, he plays into the next several arcs at that point.
Yeah, definitely. He's yeah, because like was it Big Mom? Well, yeah, Big Mom's trying to get him because it's like, oh yeah, you promised me giants, like you were gonna make me giants
Yeah,
and whatnot, and then it's like, oh, you were pivotal in like I guess the whole the smile food operation, and then you also find out like his connection with Vegapunk and Sanji's dad.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think there's one more person. I think is it? Oh, I think it's whoever
I mean, they meet Trafalgar there.
yeah, yeah. I think the other person was who's I guess part of that little scientist group or whatever. I think it was the lady who's claiming to be Whitebeard's mistress, I'm pretty sure. I think she was one of them. But yeah, so where else? Where else? So where are we at now after we've gotten so Punk Hazard?
Uh,
Um
I mean, Water Seven. That's. I feel like it's a more simple one. I mean, the train. I feel like is the biggest thing about Water
Yeah,
Seven.
yeah. I think that's the yeah, because Water Seven, it was kind of like I guess what the main part of Water Seven is Usopp leaving the crew, uh
Yeah,
obviously
yeah. Oh, it's that
like
part. That part got me too.
yeah, because it was like, yeah, they're trying to it's like, yeah, we're trying to replace the ship and everything. And it's like, yeah, it's too far gone. Uh they're just like, yeah, we gotta get a new ship, and then Usopp's like pissed about it, which, understandable because he's been putting his blood, sweat, and tears into trying to like keep it together. And like obviously throughout their adventures, it's like, yeah, this ship's getting beat up, but like they're obviously like the crew's rowdy, so they
Oh
do
yeah,
shit stuff to mess up the ship, and he's taking it personally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Water Seven. Um, what my man? I mean,
Oh, Frankie.
Frankie. There we go. I'm awful with names, man. If you're actually watch, if you made it this far in the video, you can tell. But I mean, they made Frankie, and Frankie's sick. I mean, look at the Thousand Sunnies versus the Going Mary. Look at all the sick features it's got. It's
Oh yeah,
powered
well, I
by
mean,
Coca-Cola. I mean, come on.
oh well, yeah, I mean, this man is a whole freaking cyborg because he got ran over by a train.
Yep. Yep.
And also, this man's mentor was the shipwright who made Gold Roger's ship. So, you know,
Yeah, and I mean, Water Seven. I mean, that's also. I mean, that's your lead up in it to Innie's lobby because they capture Robin in at Water Seven, correct?
yeah, like
And then
basically
they're
the
like,
end of
"Well, we
Water
gotta go
Seven
get her."
because the other shipwrights who are working for I forgot dude's name, the
I want to call him
whoever Frank,
Icehead or something like that.
yeah, something like that. But who other shipwrights who are working for him are actually the agents of
Yep.
CP9.
Yep. 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 God, I hate that guy. I hate CP9. Ugh, except for Stussy. But she was undercover, so it's cool. It's cool.
Well, not CP9. Well, no, Stussy isn't even part of CP9. She's
Well,
part of
that
CP
was
Zero.
CP0. Sorry, that was CP0.
Honestly, like, well, I think like it obviously was.
No,
I thought
you know
no,
what I'm
I thought
thinking
it
of?
was
You know what I'm thinking of? It was in
what?
CP9, the Bubble Lady. Who I don't have to look.
Yeah. She had like some soap fruit or
So
whatever,
yes,
sud
yes,
fruit, something like
yes,
that.
yes. That was
Yeah,
what I'm
nah, it's like
thinking of. Yep.
and so honestly, well, like with Annie's Lobby, I think I honestly, in my opinion, the best fight out of that was Zoro versus
Uh,
whatever long nose guy.
yep. The giraffe guy. Yep.
Yeah, I think like Luffy's fight with Lucci was good and everything, and then Lucci's backstory was pretty solid too. But I thought Zoro had the best fight out of that.
Yeah. 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 Because you know what I did? I did like. I guess it's funny we're back on Annie's lobby now. That's why I said the top. Uh, Luffy. Hey, I mean that was what gear two, gear three.
So what? He revealed. Yeah, so I think he revealed Gear 2 in that one, and then Gear. Yeah, he used Gear 3 to like make the giant fist to
Yes.
hit Lucci out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was like yeah, I
Kaku, the
think that was
one,
our introduction to the gears.
yeah, the one guy's name was Kaku.
Yep.
Yep. But no, I don't know. Like I said, Water Seven, it's just fine because it leads up to that. I got Romance Dawn up there, but that's just because I mean that's the start of it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't. It was kind of tough to yeah, like. I feel bad almost putting it anywhere else because I mean that's the first four episodes. You know, I don't. It's what gets you going.
yeah, I mean, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I guess just based off of like how I was ranking this, like I put it in F. It's not necessarily like I don't see it as a bad arc because it's the beginning. It's like it's your introduction, and it's kind of at least with a lot of anime, it's kind of hard to like your introduction. It's gonna be rough to be that great
Yeah.
when it comes to that because it's like, oh hey, I'm introducing you this world. I'm introducing you to the character, like to the obviously your main character, and then your other characters who are going to be pivotal to the story.
Uh, her name was Khalifa. Just like
Yeah,
my girl Mia.
shit, stop. Can't with you.
But no, yeah, and then long nose was Kaku. Oh my gosh, I just remembered. Do you remember the button? Remember
Oh, the
or
wait,
the
the button.
snail?
Oh, they talking about like the Buster call.
Yes, the Buster Call.
Yeah. Because well, yeah, because it was like, oh, because especially Gecko, because you see the damage of it from Robin's backstory of like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they called a Buster call on can't now I can't remember the name of her island where she's
Yeah,
from, but or where she lived, but yeah, it was like, oh, you saw like, yeah, Buster calls like the Marine big thing where it's like, yeah, if we call Buster calling you, you're set, like you're done.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
over. We're calling in a bunch of vice admirals or whatever, and you're getting destroyed.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, and then
What's up? What's up?
when did he meet Zorro?
Uh, Pretty sure.
Was it in the
I
first four
think they
episodes?
would. Yeah, it's pretty sure it's in the first 4 episodes. I'm
Okay, I
pretty
don't know
sure.
why I'm sitting there thinking, but
Yeah, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
and then
they would count that as the romance Don stuff because
okay,
yeah, because
yeah,
that's
yeah, probably,
him meeting Zoro is like the beginning portion of it,
yeah,
and then you also like kind of see Nami, and she's not like it's like, oh, she's there, but
yeah, because she didn't join till after Arlong Park.
yeah, she was kind of just like rolling with them, but it
Yeah,
was like she wasn't officially a member.
yeah, and then I've got G8, which I had to look up what G8 was. I got it just like it's when they all got separated. They were like stuck in the I think what they fell from Skypiea, I think at that point, and then they got stuck at that Marine base, and they all were like separated and had to find each other. I just kind of
Yeah,
I it was
I
I'm pretty sure it's a filler.
yeah. That's why I had it in F because I really didn't remember it like
I
that
had to look
well.
it up, and what faint I remember, I was like, all right, it's I'll put it there. Obviously, post Innie's lobby. I mean, we've talked enough about Innie's lobby. I feel like
Yeah.
um, Saboti.
Yeah, so Saboti was like Saboti was good just because it's like, oh yeah, hey, we got Kizaru who shows up
Yeah,
and it's like, oh yeah, hey, this is a vice admiral or this is a, not vice admiral, one of the three admirals who's showing up, and then you really see like the big power difference between the crew and them, and obviously them getting separate. Well, and then you obviously the worst generation's there too
yeah,
at the same time, but then it's like, oh, the crew gets separated because of Kuma, and it's like, and seeing Luffy like basically just like freaking out because everybody's getting sent away, and he's
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
like save them all.
God, I almost feel like I want to bump Saboti up one. I like Saboti. Now that you're saying that, I'm sitting there remembering all that because remember they fight the fake straw hats.
Oh
That separation, I just kind of like that. It's just kind of their own little ways. Post war, post war is when he's training with when they're all training on the islands, right?
yeah,
No.
yeah. Post War is training on the island. It's Ace backstory with like Sabo and
Yes.
everything, and then obviously like Luffy breaking into the Marine base to send a message of like with the
Oh my.
tattoo of 3D crossed out and
Yep.
then 2Y, and it's like everybody gets it like, oh
Yep.
hey,
Yep.
yeah,
That's about where I stopped because there was no episodes years ago. But all right, now we're getting to the we'll call them short stories. Amazon Lily, bunch of half naked women. Boa Hancock.
That's right.
That summarizes that one.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, that's why I said like I think that's why I like. Well, I thought Impel Down was better. It was like that's why it's top tier because Amazon Lily was it was chill, but and it was like yeah, Luffy's by himself and this is his first like, and I guess Amazon Lily is his first arc without the crew and his standalone. But it was like Impel Down really is what pushed it over the edge.
yeah, yeah. And then I think
Yeah,
Fishman Island. I mean, you know,
uh,
uh,
yeah, fish. That one, yeah, that one. I don't know. That one felt like it. At least for me, that one felt like it dragged. It was better. So there's like arcs that drag, which
yeah.
for me were like Skypiea, Fishman Island, and Dressrosa. But then there are different tiers of like Skypiea dragged, and I think Skypiea is garbage.
Skypiea dragged, but like it barely had your attention anyway.
Yeah, but then Fishman
If you're at
Island.
Fishman, you're so far in, it's dragging, and you're like, all right, something's got to happen.
Well, yeah, and then and it's like you're invested because it's like, oh, it's the first arc of them all being back together,
Yeah.
and it's like the first major arc of them being back together, and it dragged. There was good portions of it, like obviously getting to see like Fisher Tiger, Fisher Tiger's backstory, see like Jinbei and Arlong young
Yeah.
with this man, and then it's like, and what's the girl's name? Who's one of she's one of the revolutionaries. She rolls with Sabo. Uh,
Koala.
Koala, yeah. Like
Oh,
her
you
backstory,
tell
bro.
me I got one name. I got
Her
one name all
backstory was
night.
sad.
Ugh,
Like that, her backstory was rough, and
yeah.
and then I and like even then like and that actually get like was it because Arlong like he was part of the crew and he was just like oh I hate humans and then seeing how she reacted because of her being a slave and everything, this man even felt bad for her. And he even said, like, oh, I don't like humans, but I'm cool with her. She's
Yeah.
fine. Like he accepted her, which is like you think about how this man's basically racist towards humans, and it's
Hey,
like,
hey.
oh
Yeah. I just keep picturing reverie, all the slavery happening when you finally see was it Mary's Walk?
oh yeah.
Just a while. They're just like literally just sitting on the back of like a pirate, just he's a vehicle.
Dude, yeah, that's whew, those yeah. That's just,
Yeah.
yeah, they I mean they One Piece does a really good job of making you like you see some of these people and you're just like, man, I can't stand them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're
No,
the
trust me,
worst.
trust me. I'm all about like when the fishmen that they're essentially just beating up these I guess high ranking people. And I'm just like, I love it. I love it. Um,
Um,
but no, and
okay.
then obviously Reverse Mountain. It's what 2, 3 episodes. It's whatever. Syrup
Yeah.
Village.
So,
Syrup
so
Village.
yeah, sort of villain. Well, 'cause that's Usopp, where it's like
Yeah,
Usopp gets in the
it,
crew,
it's
and I
pretty much
mean,
just the Usopp story.
yeah, which is it's okay. Like to me, it's okay because like you had Captain Curl from the Black Cats.
Oh
He
yeah,
was, yeah, he was okay as a villain, and then the little the guy who could hypnotize people, but honestly, the only good part that came out of Syrup Village was them getting the Going Merry and Usopp to the crew.
yeah, yeah. That's true. I mean, you do get. Oh my gosh, we didn't even hit on the Going Mary when sinking.
Oh yeah,
Talk about bringing a tear to
yeah.
my eye from for an animated TV show.
Just
Oh
like, oh man, I'm really sad because the ship's over here saying like, oh, I wish I could have taken you all the way on your journey, and it's like, dang man,
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
it's like, oh,
Got me.
the ship has a soul.
Yeah, and then Little Garden, they're just fighting dinosaurs.
Yeah, they got you. Well, you do get introduced to was it Dorian Brogy, the giants,
Oh, that's
all
true.
that
Yeah,
stuff.
you do. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they're pretty.
yeah,
Yeah,
which comes back it comes back twice
yeah,
because they come well, yeah, it comes back in what is that? I believe actually it comes back yeah, it comes back like twice because Ennie's lobby when they're all like, oh yeah, we know Dorian Brogy, and they're all like, oh, those are our captains,
yeah,
and those giants help them, and then it comes back in Elbaf because they're in
yeah.
the
Because
land of
they're
the
giants.
giants.
Yeah, yeah. And then Drum Island, that's Waypole, right?
Yeah, Drum Island, yes,
It's
Chopper
Waypole
getting
and
introduced.
Chopper, right?
Yep, yep. So that's why I had Drum Island at least a little higher, just because they yeah, wow, Whipple he was all right, but it was really mostly about like Chopper
Yeah. Which I
and
mean, Waypole technically comes back too. I mean, he's hiding out with Vivi right now. He
yeah,
saw what the Celestial Dragons did.
yeah. So
But and
it's
then just Jaya. I don't know. Jaya's Jaya.
yeah, I mean Jaya was the prequel to a terrible arc in Skypiea, so
And then all right. This will be the quickest ones. Here's the all right. Let's see. Well, obviously Skypia. Just drag. Just
yeah, that man, and it's so it's rough because it's like because honestly there's good parts of Skypiea because like NL was a good character. He's and then like if you think back on it, it's like, oh yeah, that's your first introduction to hockey because he had observation hockey and everything, and there was a couple other his minions who had like hockey, but they called it something different. But it just felt like it just felt like it dragged on so long, and
Oh yeah.
it wasn't worth it.
Well, and then it was just like the one, I don't know, the one long-eared villain, pretty much too.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know, Thunder God guy. I can't ever.
yeah, I know that's the name.
Yeah, but yeah, Skypiea, Orange Town. That's where he meets Blackbeard, right? Powerless Blackbeard.
Orange. Oh, man, I can't even remember now.
I don't.
No,
There
no,
you go.
no,
There you go.
no, not that. No, Orangetown is that's Tsunami. It's right before Arlong Park. Arlong Park. I believe
Orange
Orangetown,
Town,
because
just forget it.
Orangetown,
No, no, that's
because I
where you
think
meet
it's called
Shanks.
because I think because Orangetown is the reason it's called Orangetown is because remember that's where like they grow oranges, and that's where like when you get Nami's
Oh
backstory
my
of
God,
her
yes. Yep.
adopted mom
I don't know.
Velmir.
It's listen, we can't remember so hard. That's why it's in the. That's why it's so far down.
Yeah, nah, that's why like I remember when when I was doing the list, I had to go back and like I had to pull up the arcs so I could remember because
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, what are some of these arcs? And then I'd be like, oh yeah, never mind, I remember that.
yeah. Maybe it's so it's Logue Town. Then he meets Blackbeard. One of these he meets a
No,
powerful
no,
Blackbeard.
Logetown is where his dad pulls up, where obviously you don't know it's dad because he's fighting Smoker and
Yep,
Buggy's trying to chop his head
yep,
off.
yep. We talked about it in the car. Yep, I remember now. Yeah,
Yep.
I like Smoker.
Yeah, I think Blackbeard was Jaya. Blackbeard, that's where he showed up. He showed up in
Okay,
Jaya because
okay.
he fought because was it he fought Bellamy, beat him, one shotted him. And then I remember because
Yeah.
Blackbeard was in the bar and he was talking about like, oh, One Piece is real, all this stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
And then after that, obviously they leave to go to Skypiea. And then I remember when Blackbeard and Ace have their fight, he tells Ace like, "Oh yeah, I was gonna capture your brother, um, back then, but he got away." And then obviously Ace being Ace loses cool and is like, "Oh, you're gonna go after my brother? We're fighting, and also you disrespected the Whitebeard pirates."
Yeah. Yeah. Can't. What's who's the guy who trained? Well, I'll ask in a second. But yeah, you got. I like Kobe and Meppo like now, but like I don't really care about the little filler arc they have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I like
yeah,
Kobe. Like I said, I like Kobe, but at the same time, I don't know. I
yeah.
like
Nah, I
now
mean,
Kobe. I don't like young Kobe.
oh yeah, because young Kobe is just like you like well obviously like when you see him and after those first couple episodes and he's like yeah I'm going to join the Navy, you think he's like that's it, you're not going to
Yeah,
like see him
yeah.
again or think about him again. And same thing with Helmeppo, it was just like oh yeah,
Meppo's like just a sissy. So
yeah. But then it's like oh yeah they're training with Garp and everything, and then it's like oh they're getting strong, and then they actually become like important characters, especially like when you see them after the time like well the
yeah,
time skip.
yeah.
Well,
And they're actually
not even after the
like
time skip, I guess, because you see them in the first half because you see them when Garp comes when he comes to talk to Luffy and everything, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, that's my granddad," and then Kobe's like, "You don't remember me?" And it's like, "Oh, you're Kobe, dang!" And then another guy's like, "Oh, you don't remember me? I'm Helmeppo." And it's like, "Oh, it's
yeah. And then obviously Buggy's crew. It's Buggy's crew. I don't know. We know Buggy. I don't care about his crew. Um, Long Ring. That's the boxing one. The it's
oh
like
yeah,
carnival themed.
oh that's it." With
The
Davy
Afro Luffy.
Foxy. Yeah, nah, yeah. There's a reason I have that in the last one because I'm pretty sure. Well, one, I skipped that because I was like, I don't want to watch this filler, and I was also like, I don't care about this man boxing. It's not relevant to the story,
I
but
mean, I don't.
sure.
Yeah, I don't. I think. I mean, um, Buggy. That's where Buggy's based. I think when he meets when Crocodile and Mihawk. I think he's at Long Ring because he has his own like carnival,
Hmm.
right? Isn't that the same? Wouldn't that be the same carnival?
Honestly, I have no idea
I don't know.
because
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, honestly, there's so
It's the
much stuff
boxing
going
thing.
on that it's hard to. It's like so a lot of it's hard to keep up with. So much
Yeah,
lore, so much different stuff, so much like foreshadowing, and then it's like
yeah.
going back to old stuff.
But then I and then I've got Return to Sabaody because I mean, other than the I guess the fake Straw Hat Pirates, I mean,
I think that was it. Why? Yeah, I add that at C because I thought of it as like that's in the same tier as like Zhao and Amazon Lily, just because it's like, oh yeah, the crew's finally getting back together,
yeah,
and it's like there's so much hype behind it of just like, oh, because obviously, like,
yeah. You know what? I'll admit I messed up on that one because you're right. I didn't even think about it like that. You're right. It is.
yeah, I mean,
You're getting back
that's how I was
together.
thinking about it because it's like, oh, like in our eyes, yeah, if like, especially if you're just binging it. And it's like, oh yeah, obviously, yeah, I just watched these episodes however long ago, and then it's like, oh, so yeah, maybe like 10 episodes later they're getting back together, but it's like, oh no, in their time it's been 2 years since they've seen each other, and everybody's like gone through this training arc, and this was the longest they've been away from each other.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, we're all finally getting back together. It's like, and then seeing Luffy do the Conqueror's hockey to knock everybody out,
True.
it's like, oh, that's cool, it's fire. And then, oh, Zoro's like, yeah, I'm gonna cut these ships in half, and it's like, dang, you guys freaking got crazy strong. Like the monster trio is insane.
Yeah. Well, you're right. And then obviously Reverie. That's just that. I mean, it shows you that the people at the top are super mean. That's about it.
Yeah.
But then we need to like watch one of the One Piece movies and then just like do like a 15-minute review after.
I mean, we could. I've never watched a One Piece movie, so
I've watched I think two of them, but there's I think like seven. So, but, all right, that's what's Pippity Poppin'. We'll see you next time. Like and subscribe.